sa akin bilang commuter at bilang non-owner of a, I don't own a car. So that's, my general question is, are we looking at, is there an effort to look at it in terms of housing also and linking that with the plans of local government units converting areas into commercial residential establishments?
Maybe somebody from the cities can help me answer this. But when we heard an MMDA presentation in May, they were presenting the in-city development strategy as a strategy for all LGUs in Metro Manila. And the money comes from Pag-ibig and National Housing Authority, and they were saying they had a lot of money. And the Parañaque that I was shown earlier was only an example. But I think their idea is that they will, if not in the spot itself, that they are going to build nearby. They are not going to bring them outside. And I think that is the lesson that has been in Pasay, in the Silverio compound. They are going to build in that compound itself. Gagawin nilang silver homes. Diba? Igagawa nila sila ng high-rise condominium that will be offered to the residents. But part of it will be converted to commercial. But I don't know where the Pag-asa, the Agham community will be transferred. So maybe some of the cities are not as committed to in-city development as the others. Anybody here from Quezon City government?
Okay. If I may make a suggestion, we invited representatives from local government to come here. They might come later. My suggestion is, if they are not here, that we write letters to them and state our positions and engage them. Kasi kung tayo-tayo lang po ang mag-uusap, we may not have, well, certainly we don't have the mandate that they do. So that is my suggestion, that we write a letter, send it to them, call them, ask for a meeting, request to be heard. Yun po ang suggestion ko.
Din.
Oh, Jessica would like to say something.
Good afternoon. In relation to what Cheza actually presented earlier, I mean, there's a lot of detail in the paper that wasn't shown. But one of the essential findings, if you took note of what she said towards the end, is that what we are essentially finding right now is if that there are transport-related business models. This is in response to the question. They benefit more the poor who are willing conduits or partners of those who invest in the business. So for instance, if they find ways where the poor can either be a client or a partner or a micro-distributor, dun lang pumapasok yung usapin ng mahihirap. Kaya your question is really very relevant. In the attempt, for example, to build micro-cities so that we reduce the cost of travel and everything else, where is the poor there? The model, for example, of Singapore presents a challenge to us. No? But when we raise this to some of our LGU, and Sir here knows that in the question on the resilience project of the city, Metro Manila has a problem. They said, where will we put them? Where exactly? If I'm not mistaken, it is Pasig City who has money. But then they ask us, if you look at the map, where else can we build? If we want to have high-rise buildings, where will we be able to put them? So it takes more than just, I think that this issue takes more than just a single LGU to solve it. That's why our advocacy is to look at all of these from a more ecosystems-based perspective rather than political geography-based perspective. It will not be solved by one LGU. Because some LGU will have space, like Quezon City. Some LGUs will not have, like Pasig or the other cities. So yun po.
Okay. Thank you, Jessica. I forgot pala that one of the things we encourage here is asking questions, and because Mel was the first person to ask a question for this open forum, she gets a prize. Yes. And si Ms. Tess, kanina si Ms. Tess, siya yung una sa open forum, she also gets a prize. We'd like everyone to listen and participate, and we have someone here from Pasig who can reply to Mel's question.
I'm Victor Boral from PPM of City. Ma'am, with regards to your question po, hindi ko man po siguro kabisado, pero base po sa aming pagkakaalam sa aming syudad, yung pong mga ganong sitwasyon tulad po sa may amin, yung pong mga nadi-displace or locally project na dapat alisin sila dun sa mga danger zone, meron po kaming in-city. Meron pong mga tinatayong mga medium-rise residential unit ang aming mayor, na kung saan, dun din sa area na yon, hindi po nawawala yung mga livelihood projects. Meron po silang mga projects na kung saan yung mga nadi-displace dun sa ibang tinatawag naming danger zone, nililipat po namin dun sa mga tinatayo po naming mga medium-rise na housing unit. At dun po sa tulad ng may bunga namin, barangay may bunga, meron po kaming mga medium-rise housing unit doon na project po ng city government. At doon din po yung magkakaroon sila ng mini talipapa. Tapos meron din po silang, doon din po yung eskwelahan na kung saan hindi na po lumalayo. So, siguro, isang example lang po yun na nagagampanan po ng aming local government. Kung may karagdagan po, yung aking kasama po, si Engineer Ray.
Good afternoon. So, yun. Pag city initiated kasi na relocation, whatever, is, diyan namin sinikap na ilagay nga na tama yung sinabi ni Sir Vic. Diyan lang sa mga, may mga blessed na mga, housing, mga ilang buildings na tayo doon. Mga 5. I think 5 na. Pero pag kasama natin yung national government, the National Housing Authority, or sa labas namin nilalagay. Meron na kaming sa Laguna, meron na rin kami sa bandang Rizal, Tanay. So, yun na po.
In addition po, yung po naman po mga nare-relocate dun sa outside the city, tulad po sa Kalawan, Laguna, yun po kasi national project. Tumutulong lang po ang aming local government, unang-una dun sa pag-transfer sa kanila, yung financial assistance, at yung isa pa pong pinoprovide, yung paglilipatan nila, nilalagyan na rin po ng mga tinatawag naming parang eskwelahan po, na kung saan para hindi naman po maapektuhan din yung ilang mga nare-relocate po namin. Yung po kapag initiated po ng national government, katuwang-tuwang local government, tumutulong po sila sa National Housing Authority. Kapag ka po yung kung saan ang relocation ng NHA, nagbibigay na lang po ng another support ang local government po.
Thank you po.
Sa Marikina naman po, meron din kaming experience dyan sa pagtatayo ng medium-rise housing. Ang problema sa ating mga informal settler na ang kanilang pananaw ay gusto nila house and lot. So may mga natira pa sana kaming government lot na ang plano sa medium-rise talagang inopose ng mga nakasettle na doon sa area. Kaya napilitan kaming maglabas ng mga informal settler outside Marikina. Ang problema sa settlement site like yung sa Kalawan, sa Montalban, Wala talaga dong trabaho, kaya nakikita namin based sa experience, bumabalik din sila sa pinanggalingan nila na problema rin. Kaya siguro yung magandang challenge, because we study ang mga medium rise, alam naman natin low income talaga yan. Pag kinalculate mo yung amortization, beyond sa capacity nila to pay. Kaya siguro dapat aminin na namin sa LGU, hindi rin namin kaya yung ganong kalaking budget for housing.
Napansin ko lang po sa ating mga pinag-usapan kaninang umaga, hindi po natalakay ang transportasyon sa mga daluyan ng tubig, ng mga ilog. Bago dumating po ang mga dayuhan dito, yan po ang ginagamit natin. So, hanggang ngayon, hindi na natin ginamit. Sayang, ang dami natin tubig. Kami, 1971 pa sa Marikina, binabaha. I mean, why not use it for transportation? Kasi mayroon mga ferry, public. But can't we use it as individuals? Kasi nakita ko yung mga Greenpeace, nakabangka . Pwede naman. Yun lang po. Salamat po. Ako nga pala po si Freddy Valenzuela ng Firefly Brigade. Ako ang bukod tanging pumunta rito nakabisikleta all the way from our place. Salamat po.
Actually po, when we did the scanning research, kasi nga po scanning yung ano lang namin, pinasadahan po namin. Dun sa complete report po namin, we took into consideration an initial study of what are already available in Metro Manila. So, na-mention po namin sa study namin yung ferry along Pasig. Pero for the purpose of presentation, highlight lang po namin yung innovation, meaning the examples that are beyond what's already available or what's already typical that's existing. So, nandun po siya sa full report, hindi lang po masyadong na-highlight dito kasi very limited po yung innovation na nakita namin for the water. Pero we did not neglect that part na consider din po siya sa study.
Actually, yung binabanggit ni Sir na sa water, meron na po sa Pasig. Pero nag-uusap pa kami nila ni Ma'am Daniel sa ni Sir Romero to talagang iano pa natin yon further. Meron na kaming maliban sa ferry, nagpapatayo na kami ng the city government na along Marikina River yata. Meron na kami nakaabang doon mga ferry stations para doon sa sa water transport natin along Marikina River and Pasig River. Unfortunately, natigil yung mga ferry services doon. Pero meron kaming mga ano rin doon na water transports na mga maliliit lang, mga bangka na tumatawid lang siya sa kabilang side ng riverbank. Kasi kung maraming na ilang areas yun na ganun ang ginagawa. Kasi mas mabilis at saka mas cheaper. Kaysa kung dadaan pa sila sa kalsada, matraffic na, magagastusan pa sila. Meron po tayo doon. I-ano pa lang namin, nag-usap na kami obviously nila Ma'am Daniel sa ni Sir Romero, yung last may NMT purong kami sa Pasig, we have to make it, kumari, paparamihin pa, papalakihin pa natin.
Good afternoon po. I'm Ruby from the Homeless People's Federation of the Philippines. We're lucky na na-invite kami as participants nitong conference kasi actually curious lang kami sa pag-attend kasi this is not more familiar to us yung mobility. Pero dahil curious kami, nag-attend kami para malaman namin kung ano ba yung mga issues na nandito. So siguro po suggestion namin dahil ito po ay importante sa bahagi ng mga informal settlers na kung nagsasabi tayo ng inclusive mobility, dapat included talaga ang most affected na mga informal settlers. So sana po ma-invite sila at ma-inform sila sa project na to kung nagsasabi po tayo ng enabling at policy change, dapat may plataforma o movement na magpupush sa mga palisiyan na gusto nating maabot. So kami po ay nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga nagpo-promote nitong inclusive mobility na ma-inform talaga ang mga community. So may ginagawa kayong mga research, dapat ma-inform din yung mga community ano ang ina-address natin. Gumagawa kami ng mga mobility na sa pamamaraan ng upgrading. So, naniniwala kami na ang mobility within the community is yung pag-provide ng mga access road. So, yun po yung ginagawa namin. Pero ito, ang pinag-uusapan dito is more parang big perspective na Manila area. Pero mas maganda rin na magsisimula ang mobility sa isang komunidad na talagang sila yung nag-process, sila po yung nag-plan kasi mas ma-target natin pong sinasabi natin ng change of mindset ng mga tao.
Thank you po, ma'am. Tama po yung sinabi nyo, magandang magsimula sa community yung desire for change. Kasi po, ang challenge dyan, kailangan natin balansehin ang top-down, bottom-up, space, which we are trying to do now. So, salamat po nakapunta kayo dito and we will keep you posted of the developments in the future.
We're working with a number of cities. Number one ho, syempre, kung saan ho nandun ang Ateneo. Lahat ho ang tanong, kahit ho ang presidente, sinasabi sa amin, fix the traffic. Alam nyo, ang sagot ko, hindi ho namin. Transport planner ho kasi yung aking background. So sinabi ko talaga, hindi ko ho maayos ang traffic ng Katipunan. Pero sabi ko, binanggit ko nga ho kaninang umaga dun sa presentation namin, what we're looking for are catalysts within the community, and we're very lucky to find yung association po ng Ateneo School Parent Teachers as a parent association in the area, ng mga schools. So when we found each other, di ba Ma'am Trina? So it's like that po. So after that, sa kami ho sa labas, we involve the barangay. So yung mga barangay, una ho kailangan muna leveling of expectations, di ba? Ano ho ba? So sabi namin, ang priority talaga is make it walkable. Because kung walkable na yung lugar, pagkatapos po nun, susunod na rin yung mga public transport. In fact, ang una ho namin tiningnan, ano ba yung policy? So, national road ho ang Katipunan. Technically, bawal ang tricycle. Pero alam ho naman natin na masyadong political ang tricycle, di po ba? So, ang sinasabi ho namin, pero in-involve ho namin ang tricycle. In fact, nag-join kami with the Partnership for Clean Air ng Clean Air Asia. Nagpa-mapping ho kami Inuna nga ho namin mapping ng mga tricycle. Only to see na in-invite ko namin yung mga head ng TODA, ng Tricycle Operator Drivers Association. And then sinabi namin, kaya nyo bang imapa kung nasaan kayo sa mapang to? Meron lang kaming parang drawing ng Quezon City. Magugulat kayo kasi kahit sila, hindi nila alam na kung gaano sila kakonekta sa isa't isa. So ang nangyayari ho, makikita nyo na mga tricycle competing. And I think lahat ng public transport mode natin, yun nga yung sinasabi namin, they're always competing for passengers. Pero what we're saying is that there would be innovation in a way, utilizing cellphone, ganyan. So sinasabi namin, baka naman pwede kayo sa ibang lugar and ensure nyo na doon lang kayo sa mga lugar na pwede kayo. So it's an initial exercise, and then one of the meetings, so nakailang meetings ang Operation Katipunan, parang almost every week meron kaming meeting But really involving different groups. So, meron time na mismong tricycle, sila ang nagsabi sa amin na, doon na lang daw sila sa side, magkakaroon sila ng slow lane. And those are, parang nanggaling sila. But ang namin is to really involve the community. Pero, yun nga ho kasi we have to understand na meron din policy, meron kang government. So, ang namin ngayon, so, merong kwento yung mga tricycle driver, yung mga informal meeting na hindi naman daw talaga sila hinuhuli. So, kung meron taga Quezon City dito, although na-raise na ho namin yon. So, sabi ko nga, saka na lang namin naayusin muna yung mga public transport kasi ngayon ang priority, and I think the local barangay hall, the barangay captain agreed that yes, aayusin namin ng walkability, Ateneo, and dun sa kabilang part. Yung tapat lang muna, small scale. And what Trina is doing right now is, led by her actually, meron kaming community involvement, meron kaming mural. In fact, pwede ko daw bang sabihin yung pangalan? Merong kulayan ng kalikasan ng Katipunan. The idea is greening the wall, yung underpass, gagawing underpass, flyover, yung ilalim ng flyover, gagawin siyang park para naman makatawid hanggang sa may LRT. And we're also working closely with LRT and DOTC. So actually, nagsimula lang ho yun na mga volunteer group, and then palaki na siya ng palaki hanggang we're just really connecting the dots among the sector. And the same thing happened with is happening with Pasig City. So, I think yung mga mapping ho namin na ini-emphasize ko, it's not just the physical map that we're connecting with each other, but it's actually connecting with the different organization, with the different individual. So, for example ho, sa grupo nyo, talaga ho, kung meron ho parang isang tao, kasi ang nakakatuwa ho at nakaka-inspire sa project, these people are just volunteers. Alam niyo ho yun, nagbibigay lang ng oras ng libre. We're just providing the venue and the time for them to talk. So, I hope sana po nakatulong yung aking kwento about Katipunan.